back to the podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Keo, and this week I turned 30. I think a lot of people dread turning 30, but honestly, I'm really excited. It's like the movie 30 and Thriving, because I really feel that way. My 20s were difficult. It was just like a lot of uncertainty, very unstable, like financially, my career. I was hopping from job to job a lot, and I just felt lost most of the time. But now that I'm 30, I don't know, I have kids now, and I just feel a better sense of direction, and things are more stable now, and I feel more fulfilled. So it's a huge difference for me. And I think this is going to be my era from here on out. And yeah, so if you haven't saw I think it's called High School versus my 20s, or School Years versus my 20s, then watch that, because some of you may relate to your 20s being rough and unpredictable, and yeah, it's overall bad time for the most part. Anyways, this year we went to Niagara Falls. I know, so Canadian of me. Anyways, I wanted to try to change the format of my podcast episodes and videos in general, and I thought about it I guess for a while. I do want to make these videos for my son. Who knows? Maybe I'll have a third kid. If we get rich. So I don't know. I did peace sign. If we get rich, I would have a third kid. But anyways, so I have two sons. One of them was just born. Yeah. The other one is 15 months old. Yeah, I just thought I would document our lives together. And I don't know. I've been very afraid of showing their face, because John watches a lot of Pet Patrol, and like, just people are more aware now these days of like weirdos on the internet and saving videos of kids. So I try not to show them like their face too much. So I'll film the back of them so they're not showing their face. Maybe if I'm not here one day, they have a place they can go to and watch all these videos and hopefully take away something from them, because I definitely needed someone to go to or teach me how to deal with my emotions and just life in general. And anyways, I was talking about what we did this week for my 30th birthday. We didn't really plan anything too crazy. In Niagara Falls, which is like the Canadian thing to do, pretty affordable. It's like nearby, so why not? And usually if you go on weekends, it can be like expensive. But if you go on weekdays, hotels are pretty affordable and they have good deals. In the day, when I was like in university, John and I would go like on weekdays, and they would have these awesome specials on Groupon. Like, you would get a hotel deal, $15 for the keg and IHOP or something, and total would be like maybe like $100 or less. Like, I think sometimes $80 at the time. And nowadays the deals are not so great, and Groupon is not a thing anymore in Canada. Living Social is the new like Canadian Groupon, basically. They have pretty good deals for massages and stuff, but I would say the hotel packages are not as good as before. I would buy things separately, so you buy the hotel and then the restaurant deals are separate. It's okay. The deals were good. Still affordable now. But anyways, so yeah, we went to Niagara Falls. Now they have two kids. John and I were very nervous about taking them to on their first trip overnight somewhere else, because we've been sleeping separately. So I have a guest room. Ace and John will sleep in that room, and me and Jack would sleep in our room. And it's honestly because we don't want them to wake up each other. Like, we've tried to put them in the same room, but one wakes up, especially on Jack, because he's so young. They like need to be fed every 2 to 3 hours, and he's primed. Then Ace wakes up, and then we have to try to put back to sleep. And I'd say it was pretty good. I remember when I was younger, we would do a lot of road trips, so we'd stop at like hotels and stuff, and our motels, depending. We would use Hotwire at the time. Apparently they had good deals. And yeah, my dad said we slept really well because the rooms were so cold in the hotels, and I always wondered why, and I was like, maybe that's why they do it. Yeah, I don't know, they slept pretty well, and they didn't wake up that many times. Honestly, it was like the same, but in a cleaner environment, because our house is a mess right now. So yeah, it was nice to get out of the house and just do something different and feel more normal, because obviously when you become a parent, you're just constantly parenting. So it's nice to do it in a separate environment. That's really nice. You look at the falls, the nature, and yeah, it's just overall, it was really nice. We went for 2 days, and it was like 18 degrees. It was nice and warm, and it was a nice change. We stayed right across from the Speedway, which, if you don't know what the Speedway is, basically like a go-kart racetrack, and it's like multiple levels, which is really cool. I actually do want to do it someday. Maybe when my sons are old, it would be cool. So anyways, Daddy and I, we stayed across from the Speedway, which is this go-karting place, and it's really cool. And so when you guys are older, hopefully we'll do it. By the time we watch this, hopefully we've done it. Yeah. Mommy always beats daddy go Kirby's. So I probably win again. We've been probably like 2 or 3 times. And I've won all the time. And I would like to thank just my dad. He taught me how to play, or he had this game called Gran Turismo, which is like a racing car game. And he had the whole setup. He had the wheel. I think there was a gas and a brake pedal. Yeah, that's what I mean by driving from. Race car driving. So I really hate street driving because it stops so many times. But I like highway driving because I guess in the game, like, you don't have to stop and wait for anybody to go. It was nice to be like in that area. There's always lots to do. And with the packages before like Groupon, not only do you get restaurant like vouchers, you also get like deals included for activities. So you could do 3 things, like the wax museum, the virtual gaming thing. Don't exactly remember what it was. And I think there's like a laser, something along those lines. There's also directly the museum. My memory's better. The wax museum was really cool. I remember there was this horror section I didn't go into because I get really scared easily, so I could not want to go in there. Especially if it was dark and jump scares. Like some of the wax figures were pretty accurate. Some of them not so much. Like some of them you can tell, like definitely a wax figure. But some of them were pretty cool. They have not been since they put in the Avengers ones apparently. So we saw those like from the outside, which is cool. And yeah, Clifton Hills. I understand why I call Clifton Hills out because those hills are pretty steep. Like Ontario is pretty flat in general. That is one of the places that there are actually hills. That in Hamilton. Yeah, it's definitely a nice workout. So we booked a hotel and it was pretty nice. Like the room was nice. We didn't mind because we're not going to stay in the hotel too long. It's really just to sleep. And yeah, it was pretty good. Like they slept pretty well. We slept normally, like way less than we would at home. Yeah, that prediction that we were not going to get any sleep was wrong. So that was nice. And I think it's going to encourage us to go on more trips. I do want to do a road trip, but I am nervous because Ace, it's not like sitting for that long. Like an hour is really his max. And my sister-in-law was telling me about, and I've also heard about this too. You're supposed to put the baby in the car seat for that long. I think an hour top. So you would have to stop like an hour, take a 10-minute break or something because they're like still growing. So it could hinder their growth if they're like stuck in like the same position for too long and not being stretched out. Yeah, it would be difficult to do a long road trip. So we'll have to see if you guys can handle staying out road. So yeah, I think we'll try to do another maybe 2 to 3 hour road trip and then keep extending it and week night somewhere and go there because I really want to go on the East Coast. I've never been to a lot of states on the East Coast. When I was little, my dad would take us on road trips. Like we drove from Seattle to Texas, Seattle to Yellowstone. He drove from Seattle to Toronto, so he loved driving. And it was honestly, there was traumatic parts, of course, but honestly, a lot of good memories. Those were some of the best memories I have of my childhood. And sometimes the only memories because my brain tried to protect me and get out of a lot of stuff. So I can't remember a lot. I do remember the road trips. So I wanted to do the same thing. It was traumatic. But yeah, it'd be awesome to go along the East Coast. I haven't really been on TikTok, but like Massachusetts, Rhode Island would be cool. Yeah, and just see like Maine. I haven't really been to New York. Like all these are pretty exciting. I want to see what the East Coast vibes are. East Coast of Canada as well. And I do miss the oceans. So we checked in the hotel. We were starving, but we checked in the hotel. Had physiotherapy like really like hours before. So yeah, I am broken in 5 different places. It just pulled a lot of tension because I'm the oldest kid. You were definitely a complicated baby, and that was hard for us. It was worth it. But yeah, I just hold a lot of tension. So when I had to like breastfeed or laying down, I think it really messed up my shoulders because now sometimes I can't lift my shoulder at specific angles. So that's an issue. My hip has problems. My neck. Stretches have been helping. So I have physical therapy that has been helping. I do want to do pelvic floor therapy as well because they say if you have a C-section or addicted birth, that's also very helpful for recovery. We lose a lot of your abdominal muscle, like the strength, and your core is just really weak. So I want to gain strength in that area and get back in shape. So we will see when I have time. But the good thing is Ace does give me a good exercise, chasing them around and stuff. Yeah, I think see, this is probably when I don't script things. We're calling from memory. So hotel got there and yeah, we're looking for food. So we're starving at this point. Luckily, It was right along, not the Clifton Hill strip, but the strip right next to it. And there's a lot of restaurants and stuff. So we went to a burrito place and they had, what did they call it? They call it Supreme Fries. I think they're Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. I grew up eating it all the time. I know it used to be like zero waste to try to live that lifestyle, but Taco Bell is definitely my weak spot. And I no longer subscribe to the every place lifestyle. I do try to be mindful, but it's very hard to get. And yeah, like it was so good. The I was about to call them Taco Bell, but they're not. They were a burrito place and Supreme Fries was it. And burrito, it was okay. But I shared burrito with my son. In case you don't remember that I did share it with you. And you love to eat. So I would love to feed you and such a good eater. So I'm very glad and proud of it. And yeah, we just sat at the speedway and you watched the go-kart zoom by and you love cars. And so I thought that was super cute and probably would not like me calling you cute, but I don't know, you are super cute. Look at your photos, you'll see them chubby cheek. And I'm just embarrassing you at this point, so I'm gonna stop. And it was really nice. It was sunny. It was me and you, Jack, and your dad. And it was just nice. It was nice to sit outside and eat and just be with the family. Yeah, that was nice. What did we do? Yes, we went into the falls actually. So I haven't been to the falls area, like the actual falls, in a couple of years. We used to go a lot because when I did have a relationship with my father, like we would all, some aunts would come from Malaysia and then we would take them to the falls. So we'd go very often. And yeah, so it's been a while. But it was nice. We walked along like the main part, the falls, saw the falls, and it's just so cool to see. And, like the rock formations, like where the falls are, and they look like Rocky Road ice cream. It just really so cool. I wish I remembered more from my studies, physical and environmental geography. I'm sure it was formed by some glaciers and something along that sort. It wasn't too busy. If we were to go like on a weekend, we went on, literally it was a Wednesday afternoon. It was a little windy, but honestly my favorite part was we went to the park. There's a little, like the grass area, and Ace was just running around with, yeah, you were running around with your dad. The sun was shining and it was beautiful, lush and green. And there was the falls behind us, or I guess in front of us. And yeah, it just felt like a dream. Like when I picture having a kids in a family, like I picture that. Little kids running around, my husband going with them, and yeah, and like in nature, which I both love. Like a dream I've always wanted come true. And also felt like really significant. And yeah, I feel very emotional now. Like when there was like the older group of people and yeah, they're like smiling at him and looking at him running around because he's so cute. And yeah, I was with Jack, I was feeding Jack. So that was really nice. And then we got Hershey, big chocolate milkshake at the Hershey store. Niagara Falls, you need to get one. They're $10. And it's a normal size milkshake. But they were delicious. I'm not really a chocolate person, but that's probably my favorite like chocolate milkshake ever. So but it's so small, and creamy, delicious. So but for dessert, and we just shared one because it was expensive. And then, yeah, I think we're heading back to the hotel. It was more windy than we anticipated. And yeah, I think we're all just getting tired. So, headed back to the hotel. We wanted to swim, but we were just dead. Put everyone to sleep, did a whole routine, got all the bottles and took showers. And yeah, it was pretty good. And then we woke up the next morning, and the next morning, what did we do? We also practiced on remember. Not great. The next morning, we woke up. It was almost sunny, 18 degrees again, and basically, obviously, we checked. I did a couple sweeps around the room to make sure we don't forget anything. Checked out, packed the bags, went to the car, and then oh yeah, we're gonna use our coupon, but it expired. We bought coupon last year. This Jack was born for sure, and I just trying to remember what month it was. I cannot recall. Feel like it was a bit older. Yeah, when it was snowing. So it must have been sometime in winter. I guess that was a baby moon. Yeah, that was really nice too. But anyways, we didn't get these iPod coupons, so we're like, oh, let's come back before Jack is born. And yeah, we did. So it's expired. And then I was like, okay, I'll just buy it again because it's only $8, I think. And for $8, you get $20 at iPod. So yeah, it's cheaper than if you buy the full 20, like the normal price. Not by much, but still cheaper. So the Asian ninja said, okay, let's do it. And we did. And that was a mistake. Really why? So we got pins. I mean, I was always fine. Like, I think we got the big breakfast tomorrow. We have Ace, who can actually eat real meals, which is honestly really exciting. Definitely a bit more expensive. So I shared pancakes, sausages, and stuff. And John, your dad, unfortunately got chocolate chip pancakes. And I think there's some contamination because he did not feel well after that. But when he started driving, yeah, he had to pull over and throw up twice. And so so it's definitely like some contamination. And fortunately, our trip got cut short. So after that, we had a whole thing planned. We're going to go hiking and we're going to go. There's like a little Japanese grocery store that I want to go. And we live so close, so it's like whatever. It was a little upset time, but obviously not fault. You can't control. So that's what I remind myself. And yeah, we just went home. I took a nap. And yeah, overall, I would say it was a successful trip because it showed us that we can go out with two, which we've been dreading. Thank you for listening to the podcast. As always, you can always DM me on Instagram at Advocate or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thumbs up. Yeah, thanks for listening. Okay, so today's sponsor is Kind Laundry. Just kidding, they're not really a sponsor, but I do have an affiliate code. Kind Laundry use natural ingredients and it actually comes in these sheets. So much more useful than liquid laundry detergent because that stuff gets messy. With Kind Laundry, you can bring this anywhere. It's literally in a box, packed in your suitcase, and it's that easy. You can get 10% off by using code ZeroWasteCute.